What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Voices from the Mausoleum, and welcome back to Found Footage Fridays, where we talk found footage on a Friday. It's time to join us in another rabbit hole of movie picks with me and my co-host, Mike and Serial.
Hey viewers, happy Found Footage Friday. Hope you're having a great one and hope it's even better now that you're listening to us.
So this was my pick.
Yes.
I have so much to say about this one too.
I'm
All
glad
right,
you do.
I have so much to say. Okay, we'll get into it. Okay. So this one is found on Found, right?
Yes.
Found TV. It's a newer one. It just came out in 2025. So today we'll be talking about the 2025 um, found footage movie, The Household. A documentary about an urban legend and a series of unsolved murders culminates, I wasn't prepared to see that word, in a horrifying reality for two filmmakers. Sort of. A filmmaker and his girlfriend, but that's fine. All right, unspoiled thoughts.
Um, Unspoiled thoughts. This was long.
It's very long.
And it was fine. Uh, I find this, I will put this in the same category as I put another movie that a lot of people love that I do not. I respect it in the same way that I respect this movie. It's just I don't get the same feelings from either of these movies that I'm seeing other people get. And this movie reminds me a lot of Lake Mungo.
Okay.
I think it's very well crafted. The visuals were beautiful. I thought it did make me feel like I was watching a real documentary.
I would agree with that 100%.
I
Yeah.
felt like I was going down a rabbit hole of some type of conspiracy theory Netflix special.
Mhm.
So I will give it that. I just didn't find myself captivated by any tension. I did not find those like creepy underlying moments. It just read very documentary,
Mhm.
and it just kept going and going. There's a strong narrative in this movie, but I don't think enough happens to keep someone like myself sat and fully attentive.
Yeah. So I think I am probably correct in that I fall on different side or a different side of thoughts than you. But before I sing my praises, this movie's too damn long. It is just over 2 hours long, and it needed to be about maybe an hour. Like, it's too damn long. I had to watch this in sections because I liked so much about it. I was like, I need to finish this. I'm intrigued. I want to know what happens. I'm invested. But because it was so long, I had to stop and go back to it. Stop and go back. I had to do that twice because I was like, I got other things to do today. Like, this is taking too long. So I think people underestimate the impact that time has on found footage and mockumentary style films. It can really, really tank an experience if these go on for too long. Now, other than that, I really liked this. I really liked it because it reminded me of Butterfly Kisses. In certain elements, there's this, and it's different because it's not supernatural. In this, I think that's probably something I should be very clear about because I don't want anybody getting any misunderstandings about what I'm saying. Butterfly Kisses is supernatural urban legend. This is crime related urban legend, so it's very different. Um, but I felt like I was watching a murder documentary. I felt like I was watching a crime documentary. I think the parts that are meant to be scary were not scary, but they did keep me engaged. There are parts where I was like, I wonder how far they're going to take XYZ. I love the guy and his girlfriend, the main two. I think they were great. I think the way they treated each other, because this gets on my nerves. You got people who're so in love, been best friends for 30 years, and the first inconvenience, and they are just absolute jerks to each other. This couple felt realistic to me. Their relationship felt realistic to me, and the progression in which that changed because of the events felt realistic to me. So that was something that I thought was really well done. I think the story is really compelling. I think the things that happen are really engaging, but damn, this is a long movie. It's so long. You're gonna get so sick of hearing me say that during this review because I'm telling you, this tanked the experience. This had such a great concept. And like you said, I mean, the mockumentary stuff on this is like nothing I've ever seen. It's so well done to the point where you're looking up stuff they're saying to make sure you're not confused about what you're watching.
Yeah.
Um, but its weakness for me is that it's too long. There's a lot of moving parts, and I think that that works sometimes, and sometimes it's not necessary, and I don't think for this it was necessary. They've got all these different people and
Yeah.
these different angles and these different paths, and it's like the story needed to be cut in half and tightened, and it would have made, like, a wildly different experience, I think.
I even think they could have gotten away with an hour 20 to an hour 30. I think there are things that they could have done. But
Yeah,
again, when you are doing a slow burn,
yeah,
the emphasis is slow. And when
yeah.
you're slow at 2 hours, that feels very tough.
It's like it feels like an eternity. You feel like you've been watching the movie for 6 hours, and it makes me mad because I I really did love this. I really did, and I told you that, I was like, "I wanna talk about this one," because there was a lot there that did work for me. You've got small town horror, you've got the crime stuff, they're being bamboozled, you've got conspiracy stuff, cultish, maybe type hints at things, and you've got these filmmaker and his girlfriend, she really just helping, but she becomes more involved in the project too as time goes on, but they felt so real to me, and the
Well,
things that they were doing made sense for the most part. And then the things that happened to them, I don't know, like there were parts where I was like, "Oh no, like I think this is gonna probably something bad's about to happen," or that kind of thing. And it just, I don't know. I really loved this, but there is a lot of stuff that could have been removed that would have made it a stronger film for sure. So, what do you rate this?
so I again, where I put this with the types of movies, because I love mockumentaries, and I know you
I
do
know you, yeah,
too.
yeah, right.
That is one thing that we definitely share. Uh,
Mhm.
one of my favorites being the Horror in the High Desert franchise,
Yep.
and I think this nails the mockumentary.
100% agree.
So, like you said, to the point where I don't think I've seen another faux mockumentary movie do it so compelling. So this will go a little higher than the way I'm truly feeling, kind of thing.
Okay.
Um, I have to give this at least a 4.
Okay.
Um, because the movie itself is it's not for me.
Yeah.
Uh, but it's one of those, like, there's certain movies that you watch and you may not like it, but you're like, you know damn well that this was a well crafted, everything's right, it just wasn't for you
Yeah,
kind of
yeah, yeah.
movie. And this is what
Yeah.
this feels like, because I'm seeing a lot of my letterbox mutuals have this
Mhm.
with really high scores.
Yeah.
We've talked about, like, on IMDb, it has a pretty solid rating for a mockumentary.
Yeah,
Um,
that for sure. Because these type of movies, people
they're
hate
usually
these.
low.
They give them low reviews. Yeah.
And so I
Yeah.
see it, like, I can see why.
Yeah.
Um, just for me, this is it's not a movie that was made for me.
Yeah.
So I'm but it's so well done. I have to give it a 4.
Okay. I'm gonna go quite a bit higher than that. I really believed in the concept and the execution for this film, and I think that's the only reason I can rate it this high given the runtime. The runtime on this is insane. Nobody needs to be sitting through a found footage movie that's longer than like an hour 30. Nobody. Um, So I out of 10 tapes, I'm gonna give this a 7.5. I think that this nails things that pique my specific interest. I do low key am like really like true crime. I can't go down the rabbit holes that true crime enthusiasts do because it's too scary, it's too dark, it's too real. So this is like an outlet for that, right? Because this is fictional, but it kind of still scratches that itch, so to speak. And so I like I said, acting was on point. I was so engaged. I cared so much about the story. I kept going back to it, even though it was super long. Um, and I will tell you, anything else that these people put out that's this style, I 1,000% will be sat and watched because I think if they can get this runtime and get the story more focused and something totally different, not even the same thing, I think they're gonna have like a 5-star kind of situation because they have the talent, they have the skill set, it's there. It's
So
just gonna be
you know
tightening
what
up
I
everything.
need them to do, and I think if they team, if you're watching this type of movie, and even if it was a little on the longer side, I may be okay. I think they can pull off this type of mockumentary
Mhm.
discussing aliens.
Yeah.
I see a very creepy film that they can do
Yeah.
with alien conspiracy theories.
I love that. No longer than an hour 30, y'all. Keep it tight, keep it close together. These are not the stories that I think work very well when they're extended. Like the Lord of the Rings, sure. I'll sit and watch 6 hours of that. I don't care, but not for this kind of story. That's too long. So, but yeah, no, I really like this one. I don't know how much I guess there's a couple things we could say spoilery, but
I'll
um
let you take the lead on, like,
okay.
with the
Um
spoilers because I don't have too much, but I can
Yeah,
chime in.
I think the only thing I really wanna break down, I think that's, that's spoilery is, I think, I did like the idea that someone they interviewed was someone who was, like, a part of it and they didn't know the whole time. That was cool. I really like the woman. Um She's, like, talking to them. She starts it all because she tells him about the tunnels or whatever it is, and that's when he goes to the tunnels and it, like, kicks off all the shit. And so and then later we, like, find a video of her, like, calling the people whoever, I don't know, John Doe, and she's like, "Yeah, they're gonna blah, blah, blah," and I'm like, "This bitch," I thought that was really good. I loved it. The cop interactions felt a little forced to me. I mean, cops are well, that's a different show, I guess. But I think in general they were very like kind of underacted a little bit, but I love that they had this initial person involved in the case that they tried to get a hold of the whole movie, could never get a touch of. Then he came in the last minute and he played a vital role in like why they weren't in prison anymore or why the main guy wasn't in prison anymore. And I love this idea that they were like so that this thing was so much bigger than they realized that it impacted every aspect of their lives. They couldn't their visa was revoked. He was suddenly had all these criminal charges out of nowhere on his name. Like all that felt like maybe it's because the movie was so long, but it felt like that stuff happened at a relatively natural pace. And I thought all of that was really, really good. Um, the mask I thought worked. They worked for me because these are people. It's people
Yeah,
horror, right? Um, and I thought all of the people parts of it were really good. I did not like that YouTuber guy. I didn't really feel like that's one of the things they could have cut out, honestly. The guy that was they showed the YouTube stuff because he talked about it, and then they got the interview with him.
yeah,
They could have left all that out, I think.
yeah. The one who like they found out he faked something, was
Yeah,
that the one?
I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I agree. And again, so for me, I think that again, well shot, well set up. That I will not say anything bad about the acting because I did love um, the main guy and girl for sure. Uh,
1 second. I know we're almost. All right. I just have to remember that that happened, so I edit it out because sometimes I forget, and I'm like, oh shit. Okay. And okay.
okay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Facial expression.
because I'm trying to remember. I told you I
Ah,
forget so
we were
quickly.
talking about the guy that they interviewed that faked the stuff and how I didn't think he really.
Oh yeah.
They could have cut that part out. That's all I'm
Oh,
saying.
but like, so I really like the acting.
Yeah,
I did like the main guy, the main girl. I liked
yeah, me
so
too.
many different parts. It's just for me, the story was intriguing. I just needed more more moving parts. I needed stuff to feel like it was happening. And I felt like it did start to get there, but how you said when we were talking about 15 things to know about Bigfoot, it
Mhm.
too took too long to get to the
For
parts that I
those moments.
needed, that I
Yeah,
was just like waiting
and
for it to
it's
be over.
And it's at least a half hour worth of stuff. So that's kind of what I'm saying. If they cut out all of that stuff
Yeah.
and they take the beginning, some parts here and there, and then the ending, the last chunk of stuff that
Yeah.
happens, and concise it into this one thing, I think it just would have been such an such a like just because like you said, like we both are big fans of mockumentaries, and a good mockumentary will make you question what you're watching, and I would say that's like the Poughkeepsie tapes, Savage Land, um, Lake Mungo just kinda made me emotional. I don't know that I ever questioned, but there's parts in all 3 of the, Horror in the High Deserts where there's moments where you're like, "This isn't real," right? Savage Land in particular, for me personally, has done that part of it the best because I'm listening to these people talk about Hispanic people, and you're like, this is real. Like this happened. I buy into this so much. These little redneck pieces. Yeah, yeah. Like I'm like, this is
That's why
freaking real.
that's why I couldn't get into Savage Land. It felt too real.
It felt too real. Well, it's one of those things afterwards where afterwards, like, I'll be honest with you, it's one of very few movies that did this, where afterwards I had to find something else before I could calm down from
Yeah.
watching it because it invoked so many things in me emotionally. But you know, we've already talked about Savage Land on
Yeah.
the show. So, but yeah, anyway, yeah, this was so well done, and that's the part that makes the length so frustrating because I'm like, damn, so close, right?
And as much as this movie wasn't for me, I
Yeah.
will say I
Yeah.
will recommend this movie to so
Yeah.
many people, especially my friends who love true crime
Mm.
types. Obviously, I'll let them. This isn't true crime because it's not true, but it is a great mockumentary that will make you question if what you're watching is
Yeah.
real or not. Because it,
Totally agree.
I will say, the story may not have, or the way that they told the story may not have captivated me,
Mhm.
but they were captivating because I
Yeah,
did
they did
finish
a
the
great
movie
job.
one all the way through. I probably should have broke it up, and maybe I would
Yeah.
have enjoyed it a little bit more if
Yeah,
I
it's
turned
it's
it
a
into a
rough.
series.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I did. Like 3, I
But
think I split it up twice. I watched most of it, and then I took a break, and I watched a little bit more, and then I took a break, and then I finished it, and we decided we were gonna cover it because I just was like, it's so and I oh, man.
I am with you. Whatever they put out next, I will still watch it.
Yeah, no.
100%.
Yeah, I think it did check a lot of boxes for me. Anything that leans in conspiracy theory territory or it this doesn't really dive into the cult stuff, but kind of like it's got those like little bit of hints there about this group kind of it just is kind of what it reminded me of. Um anything like that, I instantly I connect with that. I'm like, okay, I'm excited to watch this and see how it goes. So, you know, this last episode and this one have been things that are very much of interest to me. You've got Bigfoot and then you've got this conspiracy theory stuff. And I think it did it there's so much about it that worked, so much about it. But damn, it's a long movie. It's so long, and I can't imagine how hard it must be to have specific things that you think are important as a filmmaker, things you really want to include or things you took the time to do, and to whittle it down because all filmmakers have to do that. They have to make those decisions at some point about getting rid of stuff or adding in stuff or whatever. And I can't imagine that is an easy task when you're talking about your art, something you spent time and energy and effort on. But damn it, man. Woo.
Could you imagine if they all of a sudden put out like there's a director's cut?
I was just thinking, I was like, I wonder if they could just cut all of that out and make it like its own thing. Like, kinda like how, they did the Blair Witch Project when they had
Yeah.
all that extra the Blair Witch, was not the file it was called The Files. What was it called? Where they released the other stuff and they
Yeah.
had all these, like,
I'm
so something like that would have been cool if they ever did. I don't know if they're gonna do a physical release, but that would have been cool to separate some of those interviews as bonus material.
So there
But
actually is a physical release already.
oh, I didn't know that.
I
This
think
just
it's
came out, didn't it?
only found footage fans, I want to say. I know them through Instagram. They're really awesome and they do a lot of found footage merchandise and stuff. And they
Oh,
have started their own. Uh, they have been producing their own like Blu-rays and DVDs of certain found footage titles,
movies.
and this was one of them.
Oh, cool. Okay. So yeah, so it would have made great for something like that. Damn, it's long. It's so good. I'm so mad about it. The cover's cool. The concept is cool. There's so many pluses. If you can get through the timing, I felt like it had a payoff. I didn't walk away angry that I invested time. I didn't walk away thinking this is such garbage. I'll never tell anybody. I never felt any of those negative things. I just felt like, damn, this is long, and I got a million things I need to be doing. And so, but other than that, lot of really positive things. I really hope to see more stuff like this from the filmmakers. I really, really do because I went into it expecting the worst, which is typically my mindset for found footage movies these days. I'm like, well, let's just see how long I can get through this. And I didn't expect it to be something that I liked so much. So hopefully other people are enjoying it at least because I think, it's got some redeemable qualities.
I am glad you picked this one though,
Hmm. Yeah.
because I forgot when we picked some of them. I do know it was a while
It's
back,
been a minute. Yeah.
but I'm glad you picked it because I love the cover on this. I
The cover's cool.
love the cover.
Very cool.
Totally got a different vibe of what the movie was going to be, but
I agree with that completely. Yes. It's
love the
very, yes.
cover nonetheless. But I probably would have never pressed play on it because of the runtime.
Yeah.
For me, again, I read the synopsis and I looked at the runtime and I said, that's going to feel long. I probably won't hit play on this for quite a while. So I'm glad you did it because that you chose it because that did make me uh,
Yeah.
press play. And
Yeah.
again, while it wasn't for me, I am very happy that I watched this just because
Yeah.
I now, and maybe this is going to be bad to all the other future mockumentaries that we watch, but the visual and how well produced this was, like, this is now my gold standard of what I want my mockumentaries to be,
No,
of
I
how to
totally
look.
this was so insanely well done in that regard. I could not agree more. So good. Well, cool. Yay, we did it.
See, we
Um,
got through two.
yeah, it's fine. If you've checked out The Household, like I said, I think we said already, it is on Found TV. It's streaming. You can watch it there. Um, if you have seen this, I would be curious if people fall more where you kind of fell or more with me or maybe some are told maybe some people saw this and thought it was a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
So I would be curious to hear the thoughts on it just
Let
because
us
it
know in the
is
comments.
yeah, it was a fun experience for me. I really did like it. The length is rough a little, but you know what? I went into it not even I didn't look at the runtime. I would have done the same thing you did, but I didn't look at it. I just hit play because I like the cover. I can't help it. Of course, we've
Yeah.
seen with some movies a cover does not matter. So, it is what it is. But
And then, viewers, also, as always, we want to hear from you guys. If you have
yeah,
titles that we have not covered yet, if
yeah,
you find some or things that you like, put them in the comments. We are always looking for recommendations.
literally always. And we do watch stuff that's not on Found. It's just right now that's kind of like our little gold mine. So that's
Yeah,
what
we
we're
love
doing.
it,
Yeah,
but we do have other avenues of where to watch stuff.
where to
But
see.
a
Yep,
lot of it's on Found. So
it
also,
just is.
if you love found footage, please be. I hope you're downloading Found TV.
Yeah, and using it because it's great. It's a great resource for found footage movies. God, Monica and Louie are just the coolest, aren't they?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, I think that's going to wrap up this week's episode of Found Footage Fridays. As always, Mike's external links will be in the description where you can find his other socials, as well as a link to our merch if you decide that you would like to match us. We have lots of other things. You don't have to get tie dye, you can get regular colors too. I just really like tie dye and horror for some reason. A little bit from like a flower child or something. I don't know. But anyway, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us on this episode of Found Footage Fridays. We hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Enjoy your week. And Mike and I will see you next Friday.